Lucifer was undoubtedly one of the most powerful and fascinating entities in heaven. His brilliance was incomparable, like a morning star shining in the vast celestial expanse. He was not only beautiful, but he was the archetype of perfection, the being who reflected God's glory with an intensity that dazzled even the other angels. His light radiated so intensely that it seemed to illuminate the entire sky, revealing how important he was in the heavenly realm. However, even with all this glory, something was missing in his heart. How could this be possible? With all the power and majesty he possessed, Lucifer still felt a deep sense of emptiness. Perfection was not enough to satisfy the flame burning inside him. He wanted more. He did not just want to be beautiful. He wanted to be the only one to shine. He did not want to merely serve under God's authority. He wanted to rule. Deep down, Lucifer believed that if he were more than just a reflection of divine greatness, he could have the right to be equal to God. And this idea did not seem absurd to him, but an inevitable truth. He believed that his perfection qualified him to reign, and that God, with all his grandeur, was still incomplete, unable to fully comprehend the greatness of his creation. Lucifer's desire, once hidden in his heart, began to transform into something more dangerous. The doubt, which started as a simple thought, germinated and grew within him. Why should God be the only ruler of heaven and earth? Why couldn't he, Lucifer, rule alongside God or even replace him? More and more, the idea of disobeying God became more appealing. He wanted not just to be admired, but worshipped, not for his beauty or strength, but for his absolute power. It was then that he began to sow his ideas into the hearts of other angels. He was cunning, skilled with words, and began spreading doubt subtly but effectively. Why should we submit to God? He questioned. We too have power. Are we not like him in many ways? Why should we be subordinate? If we are so powerful, why should we not take our own destiny into our hands? His rhetoric was full of deception, cloaked with arguments that, at first glance, seemed rational. He was not directly challenging God, but suggesting a new way of seeing things, a way that would place divine authority in second place. And the angels began to listen. At first, Lucifer's words seemed harmless. They thought he was simply questioning the nature of authority, something common, even among the most powerful of celestial beings. But as doubt spread, pride and rebellion began to take root. Lucifer knew what he was doing. He knew that if he could plant the seed of doubt, he could undermine the angels' trust in God. And once trust was broken, rebellion would be inevitable. Indeed, the rebellion did not take long to spread. A third of the angels, seduced by his words, joined Lucifer. They believed that the new path he proposed was the only truth. They no longer wanted to live under God's authority, but longed for power, control, and their own glory. The celestial war began. Heaven, once a place of peace and harmony, turned into a battlefield. The clash of swords and the battle cries echoed through the cosmos as the angels loyal to God fought against the rebels. Lucifer, now leading his army of fallen angels, believed that victory was within his grasp. But God's sovereignty was more powerful than he had ever imagined. The battle was fierce, a struggle beyond human understanding. The forces of good, led by the archangel Michael, wielded flaming swords and charged forward, defending God's will with courage and skill. On the other side, Lucifer and his followers, blinded by pride and ambition, hurled themselves against the defenders of heaven with fury and determination. But, like lightning on the horizon, truth prevailed. God's sovereignty could not be challenged, and Lucifer's army was defeated. Like angels falling from heaven, Lucifer and his followers were cast into the darkness. The fall was devastating, and the darkness enveloped the fallen angels, who, now known as demons, were condemned to wander in the abyss. But Lucifer would not accept this defeat. He would not accept being imprisoned in the darkness. If he could not reign in heaven, he would rebel against God's creation, against that which he loved most, humanity. He saw in humanity, made in the image and likeness of God, the greatest weakness of the Creator. If he could corrupt men, if he could deceive them and lead them away from God, he would strike at the Creator's most sensitive point. He knew that God loved humanity more than anything else, and that would be his most powerful weapon. And so Lucifer infiltrated Eden, watching Adam and Eve with cunning eyes and filled with malice. He would not need to destroy humanity directly, but rather corrupt the human heart. He knew that by sowing doubt in Eve's mind, he could separate humanity from God forever. And that's exactly what he did. He approached Eve and began questioning God's goodness and justice. Why did God forbid you from eating the fruit? Doesn't he want the best for you? Is he afraid you will become like him? Why would he hide knowledge from you? These words, simple but poisonous, planted doubt in Eve's heart. And by giving in to temptation, Eve not only disobeyed God, but handed the fate of all humanity into Satan's hands. With the sin of Adam and Eve, the balance of creation was broken. Sin entered the world, and with it, death and separation from God. Satan had won a battle, but he still did not know that the war was far from over. God, in his infinite wisdom and love, had already prepared a plan of redemption, something Satan could neither understand nor prevent. The fight for humanity had only just begun. Since then, Satan has walked the earth, corrupting the hearts of men, deceiving them, seducing them with false promises of glory and pleasure. He infiltrated nations, incited kings to war, planted seeds of pride and greed in the hearts of the powerful, and turned men away from God. But while he spread chaos, one divine promise remained firm. A Savior would come, and through him, humanity would be redeemed. Satan knew this, and in his despair, he tried to prevent the Savior's coming in every way. He pursued the righteous, killed the innocent, and manipulated the powerful to stop the timeline that would lead to redemption. But as always, he failed. And then, the divine plan was fulfilled. The Son of God, the one against whom Satan had fought since the beginning, became flesh. Jesus walked among men, taught the truth, healed the sick, and brought the message of salvation. Satan tried to divert him from the path, offering him all the power and riches of the world, but Jesus did not yield. Satan tried to make Jesus fall into his own temptations, but failed in every attempt, and when Jesus was crucified, Satan believed he had won. But at that moment of apparent defeat, what Satan did not realize was that he was only digging his own grave. The crucifixion of Jesus was, in fact, his greatest defeat. In that sacrifice, sin and death were defeated. Humanity now had a chance at redemption. Victory was assured. But Satan did not give up. He still walks the earth, deceiving, seducing, and destroying. He tries to corrupt humanity, offering false promises and temporary pleasures. His war against God continues, but he knows his time is running out. It is written that the day of judgment will come. The righteous judge will come to settle the score, and when he returns, Satan will have no place to hide. He will be defeated once and for all. And you, what will you do? Time is running out. Your soul is at stake. Are you ready for the battle? What you choose now will define your eternal destiny. What will you do?